connecting the Jamaat, Burkut people, they invite me. I send you, I think, that email.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
There was a
And then-
meeting last week, wasn't
Yes,
there?
last one.
Yes.
And I've been there, and they really, really warm welcome, give me warm welcome. And I think we talked nearly an hour and a half, And I just,
He was murdered.
who?
This Saeed Ali.
जी Sayyid Ali.
Murder हुआ था.
Yes, murder हुआ था.
Fellow Zulu
London
people.
Zoom, yes, fellow, yes, yes. And I was trying, yes.
No, okay, you're ready. Sound there? أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We spent most of the day on Jamaat's organizational matters, so this meeting, which is actually broadcast, will be brief. Tomorrow is Ramadan, so I wish everyone a very happy and blessed month of Ramadan. And I want to remind people that in addition to Zahid's circulations, we will have a like a lesson from the Holy Quran every day. It'll finish about 15 minutes before the breaking of the fast, so that people can make preparations for the fast. So it'll start about half an hour before opening time and finish about 15 minutes before that. So please remember that. Last year and a couple of years ago, other people had cooperated with us, like Professor Tariq Ramadan and so on. So we have to wait for the outcome of the situation before we see where we go from here. Although I am in sort of contact with him, etc. And there was a mosque in America that actually asked me if I would mind if those lessons were broadcast over their radio station, and I said no, go ahead. There's no copyright, so to speak, on them. So they did that. Whether they'll contact me this year, I lost their email, I don't know. But all laws or rules, when they are enacted, they have a purpose. You don't make a law or a rule without a purpose in mind. And in law, you always ask, what is the purpose of this law? Or sometimes you say, what mischief does the government intend to remove by making this law? And the interesting thing is that people don't realize this, that the first time this started was with the Holy Quran. Before that, the king didn't give a ruling. He just said, take him away and cut his head off. He didn't give any reason for that, because he was God's appointed representative on earth, and he did whatever he wanted to. And these things we forget that they have been copied from the Holy Quran. Quran says, fast, why? Well, I asked everyone who went before you to fast, why did I do that? So that you may become righteous. And what I don't want you to do is, I don't want to create hardship for you. I don't want to make religion difficult for you. So the purpose is actually given there. If you go and read the books of other religions, although fasting is there, but no one gives its purpose. No one says Jesus went and he fasted in the wilderness for 40 days. Why did he do that? What was the purpose of him doing that? Buddha went and he fasted in the wilderness, and then In fact, he stopped eating and drinking altogether, and that had a very bad impact on his health and so on. And when he came out, he advised people not to fast. And they said to him, but you see, if we fast, people will regard us as being holy. And he said, this is exactly, I've told you not to fast. The purpose of a fast is not for other people to regard you as being holy or righteous or whatever. It's to create a spiritual transformation within yourself. So if you're going to do it because you want to impress people, then you've lost the sight of the purpose of the fast. So you might as well not fast. And there are many things, sometimes you might see on when I give a khutbah, I give it a title, something like, Sharia is here, deal with it. And then I go on to say something that the government is going to do, like no fault divorce or registration of marriages and all this kind of thing. But all of these things have been copied from Islamic law. Our tragedy is that we have restricted Islamic law to lengths of beards, heights of trousers over our ankles, and just cutting off of our head. Cutting off of heads, cutting off of hands. And we never sort of, want to think more about how we influence the world and its development. If you put it to someone that, look, the Holy Quran is the only book which, when it says do something, talk about alcohol. What does it say? Well, yes, there's a lot of benefit in it. There's a lot of good in it. But the harm it causes is more. That is why you shouldn't drink. The purpose is given there. Get married, why? Purpose is given there. There's nothing in the Holy Quran that you're ordered to do or not to do without you being told why you should do it or why you shouldn't do it. And if we explain to people that this was a straight copy of legal principles from Islam, people will be more receptive to your message. You see, let me ask you an example. The punishment is send a person to jail. Yeah? Does it mean that everyone is sent to jail for 25 years or 30 years or 40 years? No. Someone is sent to jail for a week, someone for a day, someone for 3 months, someone for whatever. So, when the Holy Quran says, if someone steals, then you cut their hands. People say, you cut off the hand there. Well, if I was in Pakistan, you use a blade to sharpen your pencils and so on. And if I put that blade through my finger, what would I say? Ungli kaat li. I have cut my finger. But does it mean that it's actually come off the thing? It doesn't mean it's come off the thing. So the point I'm making is that what punishment you get depends on how serious the crime is. It may be that you've seen some old lady, you've hit her on the head with something, you've caused her, she's become disabled and bedridden and so on, you've taken her money and all this kind of thing, and the crime is so serious that maybe literally the hand needs to be removed from there. But not if you steal a loaf of bread because your kids are hungry, and not for any other reason. But we become fixated with cutting off of heads and hands and all this kind of thing. So when we fast, ask yourself, am I fulfilling the purpose of the fast? because as the Holy Prophet said, well, if you just stop drinking and eating, but you keep on lying and you keep on breaking your promises and you keep on being dishonest, then God doesn't need you to go hungry. But the Quran says, I don't want to make life difficult for you. I want to make it easy for you. If you think just by making your life difficult, it will endear you to me, it doesn't work that way. It's not the meat and the blood that reaches God. It is your moral qualities. It is your taqwa. It is your righteousness. It is the good that you do to humanity. And we see this, sometimes in a mosque you gather together to break a fast, and the azan is called, and what's the first thing that happens? The mosque empties. Why is the mosque empty? They're all lined up on the pavement outside, and what are they doing? Smoking. You've done something good all day, and the first action on hearing the azan is that you go back on what you've been doing. I use that as an example to show that this is what we do. Ramadan is over. Now I can ask for bribes, I can lie, I can cheat, I can do whatever I want. That wouldn't have mattered if you hadn't fasted. So let us resolve that we'll remember the purpose of fasting, and let us resolve that improvement in our character that it produces, it will carry on for the next year. Otherwise, and this is an example I always give, we'll be like the kid who's repeatedly taking GCSE and not getting any further. Because if next year you've forgotten what you learned the previous year, you can't go to do A level. So let's not be like that student. Let's remember the purpose of fasting, which is to follow the right path. And if you got any suggestions about any particular topics that you want to hear something on, then please let me know. So we'll have a lecture on that. Otherwise, whatever I can find, then I'll use that for these lectures and lessons. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. And inshallah, we'll meet at our first iftari, which is next Saturday. Assalamu alaikum and Khuda Hafiz.